Lost foam casting is also called an active pressure casting of dry set type, which is called EPC abroad. It is one of the most advanced casting processes, and it is praised as a revolution in the history of casting. It is referred to as the green casting in 21st century at home and abroad. Lost foam casting is a new method of casting. In the process of casting, the foam pattern is combined to a model cluster. The model cluster is coated and dried. Then they are filled in the sand vibrating to mold. The casting undergoes in the negative pressure. The model will gasify and the molten iron takes place of the model. The casting process will complete after the molten iron has been cooled. Compared to the traditional casting process, lost foam casting has the unparalleled advantages. To help you have a distinct acknowledgement for lost foam casting, the procedures of the lost foam casting are introduced as follows. The principle of lost foam casting process. First, the foam model is made and coated with special and heat-resistant coatings. After drying, it is placed in vacuum flasks and then is filled in dry sand according to process requirements. Through the use of three-dimensional vibration compaction, the casting molten metal is evacuated in the vacuum state. Meanwhile, the model disappears by gasification and molten iron takes place of the model. As a result, the identical castings are replicated. The overview production flow of lost foam casting. The lost foam casting process consists of 4 parts: white area, yellow area, black area, and sand processing. White area mainly utilizes the materials of EPS, STMMA, EPMMA. The raw material transits through a preforming machine, curing warehouse and molding machine to make white foam pattern. Yellow area is the area where the white foam pattern is coated with special and heat-resistant ventilated coating. And then these foam patterns are combined and dried off. Black area is the casting phase. We could place the dry model cluster in the special flask and fill in the sand according to the process requirement. After the three-dimensional vibration compaction, we should cast molten metal in the vacuum state. Meanwhile, the model disappears by gasification and the molten iron takes place of the model. As a result, the identical castings are replicated. After the casting is completed, we need to turn over the molding flask. The qualified sand can be screened from the used sand by sieving conveyor, chain hoist, horizontal cooling machine, bucket elevators, and other machines. The process is known as the sand processing. The qualified sand which has been dealt with can be used circularly. By this way, we can reduce the cost of investment. That is one of the technological advantages of EPC. The presentation above is the general production flow of EPC. Now we introduce the production flow and the precautions of every stage in detail. First, I will introduce the white area of lost foam casting process. The white area of lost foam casting is the process that the foam white pattern is made in the way that the materials of EPS, STMMA, EPMMA are processed by preforming machine and molding machine. The manufacturing of the white foam mold is one of the important procedures in the lost foam casting. The choice of raw materials, the accuracy of model processing, and the density of the mold have an important influence on the casting. White foam mold making should select the appropriate foam beads firstly. There are 2 commonly used foam beads in the lost foam casting. The one is expandable polymestyrene resin bead, abbreviated as EPS. The other is expandable methyl methacrylate and styrene copolymer resin beads, abbreviated as STMMA. The commonly used EPS beads are used for casting non-ferrous metals, casting iron and common casting steel. EPS beads features translucent beads, preform ratio 40:60, the particle's diameter 0.18 to 0.80 mm. There are 6 different sizes to choose. The radius of the original beads should be less than 1/9 to 1/10 of the casting's wall thickness. We should select the appropriate bead to make molds. The first step is preforming. Here we take EPS beads as an example. EPS beads should be pre-expanded before EPS beads are filled in the mold, so that the beads swell to a certain size. Preforming process is one of the key links which determine the model's density, dimensional stability, and accuracy. The equipment used to preform EPS beads mainly include 2 kinds: electric preforming machine and a steam preforming machine, both of which use the most advanced PLC technology. Electric preforming machine adopts digital system to adjust the magnification rate. The electric heating have advantages on saving steam piping accessories, rapid heating speed, the precise temperature which can be controlled, vacuum extraction, uniform expansion of the beads, and no unqualified bead. Electric preforming saves the ripening process, and the beads could be accessed directly. Providing cooling water of customized configuration, water content is stable and easy to control. All the parameters of preforming machine is set already, and a full automatic operation can be achieved. It's a truly easy operation for all operators. The steam preforming mainly utilizes steam for beads preforming, with the features of short curing time and flexible production. The churning time and vacuum time can be set according to process requirement. Steam preforming machine can be operated by one worker. Meanwhile, it has the advantages of less downtime rates, no foundation installation, small floor area, and reducing the investment costs. This kind of machine is suitable for the casting factory equipped with a boiler. Ripening. The preformed beads should be placed in the dry and ventilated stock bin for a certain time to maintain the balance of the bead's internal and external pressure and make the beads have flexibility and re-expanding capacity. After removing the superficial moisture of beads, the beads are carried to ripening warehouse by automatic feeding system. The ripening time is about 8 to 48 hours. Preforming and molding. The preformed and ripened beads are filled in the cavity of metal mold. The beads will be heated and expanded again, so the gaps between beads are filled. The beads integrate to form a smooth surface, which is the pattern form. Before the patterns are taken from the cavity, the patterns should be cooled under the softening temperature. Only after the patterns are formed and hardened, they can be taken out. There should be patterns drying and dimensional stability for some time. The main equipment have hydraulic molding machine and semi-automatic screw machine. Semi-automatic screw molding machine is driven by electrical machine. The EPS beads are filled into the mold after preformed and cured. The foam beads bend to form a pattern through steamed heating and pressure effect, and then it is decompressed and cooled by water so that it can be customized. We should open the mold by some steps, such as compressed air. At last, different patterns of foam can be formed. When the patterns are taken out of the mold, the surfaces are moist as the patterns are heated by steam and cooled by water. The interior also contains a small amount of moisture, so the drying process is necessary. There may exist some problems in the products of white patterns. Now we introduce some common problems and solutions. 1. The internal and external continuity and cohesiveness of white patterns are not very good. The reason is that the pressure and times of heating are not enough. The solutions are to adjust the pressure gauge and heating times as well as the main heating. 2. The surface of patterns presents the phenomenon of goose bumps. The reason is that the time of water cooling is insufficient or too much heating times. The solution is to adjust the cooling time. Generally, 2 to 2.5 minutes are appropriate. 3. Deformation. The reason of deformation has two elements. The one is that the airlock is blocked and some parts cannot be performed. The other is that the speed of cooling is different and some parts have to stop performing, while the other part is still performing. 4. When the patterns are taken out, the patterns always exist the stretch break, but the forming quality is good. The reasons: the pressure of gassing is too high or the time of gassing is too long. The solution is to adjust the time parameters. Some white foam pattern also can be made by foam board. Now we introduce the method of adopting foam board to make patterns. The white foam patterns are made of foam board. 1. Tool request. 1. Board ruler's size is accurate. 2. The two sides of a board ruler are same. 3. The right angle ruler is vertical. 2. The selection of foam. We often select the EPS materials to make the foam board. The density is about 18 kg per cubic meter to 20 kg per cubic meter. If the density is too low, the resistance to bend will decrease correspondingly. The pattern is out of shape easily. If the density is too high, the foam will increase the gas bubble amount. The casting porosity defects are easy to occur. The dissected foam pattern should be stored in the drying room if the patterns are affected with damp. The surface of the patterns will decrease and the pattern is easy to deform when the patterns are wet. Cutting the internal part, we should keep good continuity and avoid producing crack and hole. 3. Manual cutting foam board. Pattern cutting stock. The cutting stock should be operated on the cutting platform. The platform should cover a high-density board with the thickness of 12 mm. A glass pane with the thickness of 12 mm covers on the high-density board. There are two adjustment levers in the both sides of board. The adjustment levers are equipped with insulation boards, and then we should tension springs and 0.5 mm nickel chromium resistance wire. The selection of glass board. 1. The two sides of a board should be less than that of the platform. For example, the platform is 1200 mm by 1200 mm. The specification of glass pane should be 1200 mm by 1000 mm. So its size will be less than that of tension springs, and the foam also can be saved. 2. Ensure the surface flat. Avoid the wavy stitches and the pattern's height uneven. The size in the two ends of the resistance wire should be same and reserve 1 mm cutting size losses. The adjustment of voltage stabilizer should begin from 0 until the waste form is cut as a test to examine whether the height is the required height. The phase of the cutting stock. 1. Before the cutting, the scarf skin of foam board should be removed. The scarf skin should be removed from the bottom or adjacent side. 2. The foam board and the tri-square should be mutually perpendicular. 3. All board of different shapes must be cut into the shape of square. To cut the model components, we should ensure the dryness and smooth of the white foam. The white foam of 20 mm by 20 mm by 150 mm, 200 mm is cut into diameter 20 cylinder. The white foam of 100 mm by 100 mm by 100 mm is cut into circular truncated cylinder of 100 mm by 100 mm by 50 mm. The model should be fixed on the foam board by straight pins. The cut should be operated in a rapid and constant speed for one time. There shouldn't be any pause, and the model and the resistance wire should be mutually perpendicular forever. In the process of cutting through hole, the resistance wire threads the white foam adjoining the model. The through hole should be controlled within 20 mm. In the process of cutting blind hole, the hand tool adopts the insulating plate of 10 mm to cut out two pieces of stripe-type boards fixed by 8 mm to 10 mm bolt. The 1.0 mm iron chrome aluminum resistance wire is surrounded to the necessary dimension of holes and slots greater than the radius. Fixed by insulating plate clamp, it is cut by electricity. As cutting the inner arc, the iron chrome aluminum resistance wire of 1.2 mm or 1.5 mm are rounded into the desired inner arc. Fixed by insulating plate clamp, it is cut by electricity. As cutting the outer arc, we should turn two insulating boards into 90-degree fixed by bolts. The iron chrome aluminum resistance wire of 1.2 mm or 1.5 mm are rounded into the desired outer arc fixed by insulating plate clamp. It is cut by electricity. The introduction above is the white area of lost foam casting process. Now we introduce the yellow area of lost foam process. Yellow area. The yellow area of lost foam is mainly to coat white foam pattern with high temperature resistant breathable coatings, and then dried in the drying room and formed a cluster model. First, the white foam patterns are dried in the drying room and coated by RO coating blender. EPC coating is the essential raw materials in lost foam casting. The main role is to improve the strength and rigidity of the model, to prevent damage or deformation, to isolate the liquid metal and the pattern. The products of the pattern gasification are excluded to ensure the casting surface quality. LFC coatings require that coating has good strength, permeability, refractoriness, painted hanging, suspension and one-off fall-off, etc. So we should reduce the incidence of casting porosity, collapsed boxes, sticky sand and other defects. At last, we could ensure the casting yield. Now we take special water-based paints of LFC produced by our company as an example to introduce the process of coatings, stirring and brushing. The special water-based paints by Ruiou company, which can be used, are just added waters of normal temperature according to a certain proportion, proportionally mixed ready for use. Amount of water should be added according to different methods of coating linked with different ratios. Coating brushing. There are several ways to brush. They are brushing, spraying, deep coating, etc. The selection of brushing method depends on type of coating, the batch of product, and the size and the shape of pattern. Brushing method. Manual brushing is suited for the patterns of complicated shapes. Dipping method is featured with a high efficiency of producing and saving coating. Coating evenly. No high requirement for coating and easy to operate. At the low density and strength of the pattern, the deep coating should pay attention to prevent the deformation due to the high density of coating. The dipping should select an appropriate direction to dip coating in order to prevent of the deformation of pattern. The thickness of a coating should depend on the material, kind, shapes and size of castings, usually in the range of 1 to 2 mm. The too thin coating causes the burn-on sand and the decreased effect of protection. Too thick coating will affect breathability and deformation. To obtain qualified castings, it's better to adopt thin coating. The thickness can be controlled by concentration, brush times, and dipping operation. For the first time, the dipping concentration of coating is relatively small to obtain a uniform thin coating and improve the property of the second coating. For the second time or the third time, deep coating should adjust the concentration of coatings to obtain a uniform coating thickness. Deep layer should be uniform and the coating may not have any reservation. The model should be shaken to remove excess coating. The delivery and placement of the patterns should pay attention to avoid deformation. The patterns will be dried after brushing. The drying can be processed in the sun or the drying room of 45 to 50 Celsius degree to accelerate the drying of the coating. The patterns should be placed and supported reasonably to prevent deformation of the patterns. The time, temperature, and drying humidity should be controlled strictly to prevent moisture absorption model. The drying room heating system includes electric heating, heating collection, and traditional cool heating. The electric heating and heating collection are called golden combination, which can reduce the energy consumption and make the best of space, and achieve environmental protection. Patterns are combined to cluster model. This step is to combine multiple foam patterns with riser together to form a patterns cluster. Sometimes this combination is done before brushing coating. Sometimes this combination is done after the preparation of the coating and the patterns are buried into the molding flask. This process is a necessary procedure in the lost foam casting. The combination of patterns should select LFC special glue stick. LFC special glue stick is featured with convenient use, quick solidification, high strength, and long storage time. The use method of glue stick: use the glue stick with the glue stick gun. The glue stick is inserted into the back hole of the gun, and the gun is adjusted to 130 degree to 160 degree. Then we should buckle the bolt to eject glue. The glue is ejected on the pattern. The other pattern will be covered on it. A high strength can be achieved by positioning and extrusion. The glue should not be overmuch when you glue the model clusters. If the glue is overmuch, the more gas will produce. It will cause the defect of the holes. The glue layer shouldn't be too thick, lest the size is not precise. The joint of model clusters is bounded fully. There shouldn't be any unbounded joint of model clusters, lest the castings have defects. The excess glue shouldn't be wiped out in order to keep the surface finish of model clusters. After the adhesion, we should check the adhesion joint, the surface of the model clusters, and the sizes of each part. If it needs to be mended, we could mend it by masking paper. If the one side is glue cohesion, the other side could be coated well. After the white foam patterns are combined to cluster, the casting can be proceeded, which is the so-called black area of lost foam casting process. The black area. The black area of lost foam casting process refers to the process that the castings take place of the white pattern. The process includes the vibrating to molding, pouring iron, and sand processing. Vibrating to molding. There are 4 procedures in this process: inter sand, placing EPS patterns, filling the spare space, mounting and placing sand on the top. Intersand. The molding flask with aspirating chamber is placed on the vibrating table and fixed firmly. Some sands are filled in the bottom of molding flask, compacted by vibrating. The thickness should be above 100 to 150 mm. We should select the pearl sand and silica sand with no binder, no filter and no water as molding sand. The bit mash number is about 20 to 40. The molding sand can be used repeatedly after being treated. The molding flask is equipped with a aspirating chamber or exhaust tube, lifting appliance or running gear. Placing the EPS patterns. After being compacted, the cluster of EPS pattern is placed and fixed by adding sand, filling the spare space of the molding flask. The sands are filled in by shower type and sand feeder. The sands occupy all the space of patterns by the three-dimensional vibration, and the bulk density will increase. The shower type sand feeder can control the sand feeding automatically, which is featured with uniform and quick sand feeding, light shock to the patterns, avoiding the deformation of the patterns as the sands are filling into the molding flask. LFC vibration compaction is one of the key processes. By the vibrating of sand in the sandbox, the dynamic flow generates, which will improve dry sand enrichment and density to prevent casting defects. The model deformation, cracking of coating layer would always occur in the process of vibrating, which is due to the too large exciting force. The polarization of the motor block in the same group imbalanced. A reasonable vibration force, amplitude and vibration time are the key points of vibrating state design. In addition, the selection of suitable granularity of sand ensures both the degree of ramming and breathability. Vibrating table is one of the key equipment in the lost foam casting. Generally divided into basic vibrating table and airbags vibrating table. Basic vibrating table is made of rubber pier and multiple combinations of vibration motor. With the three-dimensional vibration, patterns in the box and sand filling with no dead corner. Solid structure, good sealing performance, reliable, easy to operate. Airbag vibrating table is mainly used for sand vibration in the process of molding, with the features of airbag lifting, cylinder clamping, three-dimensional vibration, adjustable frequency vibration. The vibrating effect is good and is characterized with high production efficiency, simple operation, easy to maintain, mounting and placing sand on the top. The surface of molding flask is sealed with plastic film. A certain vacuum is completed by the negative pressure system. The pressure difference of atmospheric pressure and inner pressure of patterns make the sands bonded together, so the process of the casting can't crack. Vacuum system has the effect of secondary compaction of foundry sand. It can enhance the static friction between the sand and create a stable vacuum field for vacuum flask. It can make the dry sand melt under the atmospheric pressure and suck EPS model gas produced by gasification in order to avoid casting blowholes. It can increase the flow rate of molten iron and the speed of punching, thereby casting yield increase. Casting and patterns replacement. The EPS pattern will gasify due to the heat effect of molten iron in the casting process. The gas enters into the negative pressure system through the coating and sands. The molten iron will take the place of patterns. The castings will form which has the same shape and size of pattern ultimately. We should pay great attention to the casting speed, temperature and vacuum system in order to ensure the production of qualified castings. The commonly used casting methods including manual casting with the crown block crane and automatic casting with the casting machine. The operation process adopts a bit of slow, fast, slow and maintains continuous casting to prevent cold shot defects. After the mold reaches the requirement of pressure maintaining, we should stop the pump. The pouring temperature is 30 to 50 Celsius degree higher than that of sand casting. After the pouring is completed, a rollover of a molding flask begins. The rollover could select crown block lifting rollover and automatic rollover machine. The automatic rollover machine is featured with high efficiency, less dust, reliable operation, and easy maintenance. The workers can work in the environment of high temperature and dust. It is suitable for the production line with annual production capability above 3,000 tons. The castings are coated after the rollover of a molding flask. The dry sand drop off for one time. The molding sands enter into the sand process system. Sand processing system. Sand processing system is a very important production procedure among the whole set of lost foam casting equipment. After sieving, dust removal, magnetic, cooling, the sands are stored for the production of casting. The molding sands processed by sand processing system can be recycled completely, reducing the investment of production. The whole sand processing adopts advanced PLC control and is equipped with sand temperature control in the whole process. After sieving, dust removal, cooling, the sand can be recycled. Now we make a brief introduction of the sand processing flow. After turning the sandbox, sands are snapped first by water cooling shakeout machine and enter the screening conveyor. The impurities produced in the casting process are removed and qualified sands are obtained. Water cooling shakeout machine is composed of numerous seamless tubes which are parallel and interlaced step by step. In the interior of the tube, the circulating water should be below 30 Celsius degree. It is mainly used for the sand cooling above several hundred degrees after the rollover. Screening conveyor is used to screen the fragments of scented coating, splashing, etc. It is one of the main equipment of ensuring the normal volume production. The screening conveyor is mainly the linear screening machines with long material screening line. Numerous screening specifications. It is a new kind of multi-lasers and high-efficiency screening machine in the inner of the shakeout machine. There are wind cooling systems which can reduce the temperature of materials fast and efficiently. Since the sand in the casting process is in a high temperature state, the screened sand are carried to RO horizontal coolers by RO chain hoist for cooling. RO chain hoist is suitable for the non-wear materials of particle shape or small pitch. This equipment with small bulk is easy to install and maintain. Sand temperature cooling system mainly includes boiling cooling, horizontal roller cooling, sand temperature regulator, vertical cooling and shakeout water cooling, etc. The horizontal cylinder cooling adopts automatic sand temperature flow control, with the dual effect of water cooling and air cooling. It can make the sand temperature rapidly cooled to below 50 Celsius degree for secondary use. The vertical cooling incorporates vibration, spiral vertical lifting, cooling and dust removal. It can reduce temperature by air cooling, which could bring low cost and a small footprint. Sand temperature regulator employs closed seamless steel tubes to achieve the heat exchange of sand and heat which can realize small footprint and good cooling effect. Shakeout water cooling. The mode makes the separation of casting and sand over the grid. After separation, molding sand enters into shakeout device of seamless and parallel steel tubes for cooling, through water cooling and air cooling. The normal temperature of molding sands will enter into RO sand storage hopper by the RO belt elevator for the secondary use in the whole sand process system. The double-stage dust removal machine is used cooperatively in every node. It can deal with the sand produced in the whole production line. On the one hand, the manufacturing process is clean and no pollution. On the other hand, the dust powder in the model sand can be removed. It can improve the model sand permeability and reduce the casting defects. The commonly used dust removal equipment have water type plus whirlwind type dust catcher and pulse jet dust collector. The water type plus whirlwind type dust collector is mainly designed for dust processing in each pitch point of lost form sand processing system. The dust enters into the dust catcher through the fan, filtered in the water after passing through the compartment. The filtered clean gas injects into the atmosphere and meets the national environmental protection requirements. The amount of dust removal is based on the actual situation of production. The pulse jetback dust collector has combined the advantages of various kinds of pulse injection dust collector. At the same time, it overcomes the shorting of weak cleaning strands and uneven distribution wind by inlet and outlet. It is used widely. In addition, the machine is easy to install and maintain. The text above is the whole technology flow of lost foam casting provided by Ruiou Company. As we are only engaged in lost foam, we are professional. Shirkة Ruiou Company concentrates on the field of lost foam for many years. At present, we manufacture the whole set of lost foam equipment, coatings, white foam. In addition, our company gathers many excellent experts and scholars, and we take the technology as the core of casting. Ruiou team can make an integrated program planning and customize project solutions for clients according to the actual workshop, product, output and detailed production rhythm. Shirkة Ruiou Company provides clients many services. Before the installation, we will communicate with our client about the detailed situation and design reasonable layout of workshop and production line project. In the process of installation, we will offer a detailed foundation drawing, guide the installation and debugging, and ensure the client to make a quantity and high-efficient production of castings independently and efficiently. In the process of manufacturing, we can provide lifelong service and a free technical advice. No matter where you are, if your products have any problems, we will solve the problems within 72 hours. The pictures show different service scenes by Ruiou Company. Shirkة Ruiou Lost Foam Casting Equipment Company Limited presents the video with all enthusiastic. We want to express our thanks to the pioneers who have made a great contribution to the lost foam casting career for a long time.